Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy TriniFX here, back with a trading recap. Alright guys, today was NFP. Coming into the market, we were very cautious this morning. We basically saw Asia open, trade up, respecting this 1 hour SIBI. And if we take a look at yesterday, we saw accumulation, manipulation, and then we had the distribution. So you could have either caught a short or a long. I waited for the reversal to catch some longs. But we could also see from yesterday price respecting the 1 hour SIBI, traded lower. Asia traded higher. Respect this higher 1 hour fair value gap. And we had some displacement to the downside. So looking at where midnight opened, we began to trade higher, respecting this bullish fair value gap. We also inverse this SIBI here. So all intents and purposes, guys, I was coming into the market initially expecting longs, but we had to, wait and see what the market actually gave us, if longs continued to play or if we would have sold off. It was the NFP, so anything could have happened. So dropping to a 15-minute chart, just to get to see, what this morning brought. We could see we're above midnight price here, respecting this hourly BISI. So on market open right here, we did trade higher into this 15-minute SIBI. So if you know how I trade, that's what I look for. Higher time frame fair value gaps, and then I dropped to a 1 minute time frame. I was a little cautious because we were still inside of this 1 hour BISI. So I dropped to the 5 to see if we had what was going on, and it looked like we accumulated before New York open. And if we go to a 1 minute chart, we could see it even clearer that we did have some level of accumulation going on. So we accumulated from about, let's say, from 8 to 9:30. Now 9:30 we traded lower first, right? So people who were looking for longs, they would have seen this as a sweep of liquidity and they would have gone long. All the guys who trade on the first inversion fair value gap may have gone long here, or when price inversed everything. However, I stayed patient because I knew we had a 15-minute fair value gap on top of price. So we could see market opened, we wicked up, wicked down, and we traded above. So if I was to go long, I was waiting to see this BISI find some support and trade higher, and I would have gotten in on a confirmation entry. But that didn't happen. Price continued lower. We eventually inversed this BISI, so this became an inversion. So I'm monitoring price. We did trade up into this 1 minute fair value gap and displace, but I wanted a little more to tell me that price was ready to go lower. So even on a small micro level, we saw accumulation. Price manipulated one more time into the 1 minute fair value gap as well as the 15-minute fair value gap. Seeing we had the inversion as well. Price then displaced on the close of this candle. That's when I went short. I put my stop above the candle that formed the fair value gap. So we had this gap here. Price could have traded back up into there one last time, but I went short. So the confluences that I stacked and the PD arrays, we had this inversion, fair value gap. We were already trading and delivering from a 15-minute fair value gap. We traded up into the 1 minute fair value gap. All these are SIBIs to send price lower. And if you look to the left, what do we have here? High, low, higher high. And we were inside of the breaker on the lower end of this breaker. So all those are the things that I saw that indicated to me that we may continue bearish. So I went short and I was just targeting a 1-to-1, guys, and I got out right as this candle closed and we started to trade in this candle. That's where I exited my position. You can check out my shorts. I recorded this trade live, and I waited. Price traded lower, took out some sell side liquidity. But if you go back up to a 5-minute chart, we could see price was still looking very bearish. So we accumulated, manipulated, and we were looking for the distribution. We still had this low to take out. So price came down, did not take out this low just yet, traded higher into this 5-minute fair value gap. So I dropped back to my 1-minute chart to see if I could have gotten a second trade or re-entry. And what do we know? Price traded up into the 5-minute SIBI and began to trade lower. So it's only once price traded below this candle here and started to move lower. That's where I took my entry on this candle here. Now, if you were looking for longs, you would have thought that this would have been a breaker. We had a low, high, lower, low, and it got broken on that candle. So some people may have gotten long, but for me, price could not, there was no 1-minute fair value gap that I looked for price to retrace into to take price higher. Now, if I respected this breaker and began to trade higher, I would have taken long on the 1-minute fair value gap following the break. But that didn't happen. If we look at the candles, guys, on a 1-minute chart, we traded into the 5-minute. Consequent encroachment, the candles could not even close above consequent encroachment, and price began to trade lower. We formed this 1-minute fair value gap. Price did wick into this 1-minute fair value gap, institutional order flow entry drill, and started to trade lower. So I went short there, and I also recorded this trade so you can take a look at it. I was targeting the sell side liquidity here. Price didn't quite get to my target. However, I took partials from as soon as we crossed 1 hour. I took some partials, and the remainder I got stopped out on that candle there. So guys, those are the 2 trades that I took today. 2 winning trades. We went short. Yes, NFP came out. We traded higher pre-NFP, and then after NFP we had this massive sell-off here, just trading back below the low of the day. So price is pretty much bearish. Tomorrow we'll see if it wants to continue lower. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Like, subscribe, share your comments in the comment section. I love to hear from you, and we will talk again tomorrow. Stay safe. Bye bye.